Hello and welcome. This is Retirees Nigeria, a channel where we talk about the finances, the health, and the general well-being of retirees and those who are on their way to retirement. I am Dr. Dorothy Esse. Let me give you a story, and it's a personal experience. At a time many years ago, that was in the 90s, my monthly paycheck or salary was about 11,000 naira. At that time, I had no savings, and I've put in some years, of work. Why didn't I have savings? Well, I thought I couldn't possibly, take anything out as savings. My thinking was that 11,000 naira monthly, wasn't even enough to take care of my expenses. And as a result of that thinking, I wasn't putting anything aside. But thank goodness, I listened to a friend of mine who motivated me to think differently. So I joined a thrift saving scheme in my workplace where I saved 3,000 naira monthly. And this was deducted from source. That is, I didn't get to touch the 3,000 naira before it was deducted from my salary. And what I received as salary for that period, because it was a yearly savings, was 8,000 naira. That is after the deduction of 3,000. And for that 12 months that this deduction was done, it was tough for me. Earning 8,000 naira instead of 11,000 naira. 11,000 naira that I thought wasn't even enough for me to manage. And come to think of it, that 3,000 naira I was saving was actually 33% of my monthly pay. And thinking about it now, that was rather high, but I survived it till the end of the 12 months. And then after 12 months, usually the savings, that we put there will be shared among members, and then a new cycle will begin. So at the end of that cycle, I was paid 36,000. That is, having saved 3,000 naira monthly for 12 months. And then I was paid additional 4,000 naira as my share of our profit for that period. And this totaled 40,000 naira. There was a feeling of accomplishment that I did it. I felt, it was wonderful that at least I've accumulated 40,000 naira. And since then, I never looked back. I was able to do it again and again and again. I saved despite my thoughts about my salary not being enough to take care of my needs. Hear this too. I was once in charge of an end-of-year savings scheme, with about 50 members. We agreed to put aside something every month as our saving towards the end-of-year celebration. And here, there's no fixed amount. You decide what you want to put aside. So, do you know what I observed? Let me share it with you. I observed that there were some contributors who earned up to 300,000 naira every month, but could only save about 15,000 monthly. And I also observed that the same people, some of them in this category, were not even consistent with their savings. In other words, there were some months that they didn't save anything. Their excuse was that, the unexpected happened. That is, unexpected expenses. And so they could not meet up with their savings for that month. And I noticed two particular members whose salary couldn't have been more than 150,000 naira. One was saving 30,000 naira every month, and the other one was saving 25,000 naira every month. They were consistent, saving every month of the year. And note, they both had families. One of them was even a widow. Yes, saving 25,000 naira every month. They lived in rented houses. One lived in a one-bedroom flat with her family. at that time. While if you look at it, her mates at that time were living in 3-bedroom flats, rented apartments also. Now, both of them, I noticed, didn't have a car. So that saved them the expenses of car maintenance, buying of fuel, and all that. The expenses that owning a car brings. And when you get your salary, you have to put aside all that money, because something will happen. You could just be going one day and your car will just pack up. So you keep that money by the side. Now, even though they could easily have gotten a car by dipping their hands into their savings that they've made, in previous years, they didn't. And also, they could also have taken loans from bank to buy a car, because many of their colleagues were doing that. Getting a loan from your bank to purchase the car, was quite easy. That is, if your company can guarantee that, your salary account will remain, with them, I mean the bank, you will get a loan. But they didn't. They chose, to work. If you look around you, you will find that neighbor, you will find that friend, you will find that colleague who seem to be frugal with his or her finances. They don't go for high-end fashion items. They do not live in big rented houses. And they do not have cars. Their children go to school in the neighborhood, so they could walk home after school. So some of them either have no car, or they have just one family car, and it's a modest car. And then one day, one of these two people I was talking about, moved out of the neighborhood in a rented house that they were occupying. In a rented house in their own home. And then, after moving out, they bought a better car. All of this was done with their own money, not borrowed money that attracted interest. I'm sure you know one or two people whose lives are like that. It's not that they don't want to enjoy their lives, but they are saving money because they have better plans. And please do not get me wrong here. If you have good money and you have achieved your financial, freedom, then it's okay to splash some money on yourself and your family and your loved ones. Otherwise, be reminded that the source of money that you currently have in the form of monthly salary will be unplugged one day. And that is when you disengage from work. This video is actually for any person who is willing to make that huge sacrifice now to either free himself from debt or to have a better tomorrow. What I'm saying here is this: if you do decide to save your money, you can. That what you earn is not enough should not be a very good reason, because there is someone out there who is earning what you currently earn and who is able to put something aside. Putting aside 10% to 15% savings should not kill anyone. When you decide that you want to save money, that is to save, the 10% or 15% of your salary. Don't save it. Don't save it, after have budgeted for every other expenses that you have. Let it be the first thing that you do. You first of all take out that 10 to 15% or whatever percentage of your income that you decide to save, and then budget for the balance. That is by making you one of your expenses. You become an expense too. You cannot afford to delay it longer, because retirement will surely come. You should not continue to give the excuse of family responsibility as a reason for not having any savings or much savings. Because if you check again, you may think that what you earn is not enough, and that you even need additional money, because some people say, I'm even borrowing, so how can I even save? if you check and take a proper look at where your money goes, you will find some expenditure that has nothing to do with running your family. Check, you'll see. You may think that your money is taken up by these expenses for family, but check your budget very well. Write down everything that you spend money on till you run out of your salary. And you will see some things where your money is going to that is not related, and then that's something that you can really avoid and do without. Because I say this because there is someone somewhere who is earning exactly what you earn and are in the same circumstances as you. That someone is able to save something, put something aside regularly. How is he able to do that? Think about it. Don't let your mind continue to repeat to you that you cannot afford it, that you cannot afford to save. You want to wait, let all your children, finish from school before you start saving. When is that going to be? As a matter of fact, you can do something about your current situation that will result in something being in your savings, even if right now you think you are not able to. Having spent all these years, having spent all your expenses, and then it leaves you at, zero balance. Don't you think you should change that method of spending so that you can have something to show for your working years at the time you disengage from service? If you think so, then follow it this way. Just follow these tips. Start with the essential. First of all, take out when you receive your salary, take out that amount that you wish to save. That's the first thing. Take it out and keep it somewhere in a separate account. Then you take out your food, you take out your rent, and then utilities and transportation. Other expenses like eating out, cable network and such will come in after these essentials, have been taken care of. And that is if there's something left. If not, then let them wait. By the time you are done with your budgeting, you should have a 0 naira left after all such supposed expenses have been deducted from your salary. But the difference now is that this time around, you have added your savings that you set aside. You have added it as one of your expenses. Initially, actually, this method will seem like a difficult task. But with time, as you continue to do it, your savings become a habit. If you think that you will not be able to take out money from your savings, by yourself, you can join a cooperative, you can join a cooperative society in your workplace so that the money is deducted upfront before you even see it. It will be saved for you. So that whatever is left goes to your account, and that is what you spend for the month. Another way to do it, you can open a separate account where you don't go to withdraw money, so that as soon as your salary is paid, you transfer that money to that account, and that is it. Another way is to join, a savings group, or you can even start one yourself. This savings group I will call a susu, where a group of, say, 5 people or more with similar interests will come together, like friends, colleagues, where they put equal amount together for a month, and then a member, carries that money for the month. When you receive yours, pay into that your special savings account, and it will give you money. Before you know it, you start to generate savings for yourself. The sooner you start saving for your retirement, the better. That small 5%, that small 10% of your salary, that small 15% of your salary that you set aside every month. If you do it for 12 years, for example, you are setting aside, if you earn 100,000 monthly and you set aside 10%, that means you are putting aside 10,000 naira every month. At the end of 1 year, you have 120,000 naira. That's what you will have saved at the end of 1 year. And after 5 years, that 10,000 will amount to about 500,000 naira at the end of 5 years. This is a reasonable amount. And if you have made a habit of it, it will continue. By the time you retire, say 20 to 25 years later, you should have at least 2 million naira. That's if you have been saving 10,000 naira every month. And actually, that is a modest figure, because as your salary begin to increase, you will be encouraged to save more by the time you form that habit of saving. If you are consistent in your savings, you will have more than that 2 million I'm talking about. So even if you are starting late, it's better to start now than never. As your investment begins to appreciate in value, you may take from it and invest in other things in order to increase your net worth, so that by the time you retire, your net worth will have grown substantially. Start now. Now, it is never late, and don't let anything be an excuse for you not to save money. Do not keep postponing it. Okay, this is it. Thank you for watching my video. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.